So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you especially first day back. I know we've had a long day and everything, same here. Okay? And today's a lot more informal than maybe in the past or future. I'm going to open up for any questions, anything at any time, okay? Because today is really just telling my story. As a teacher for my first year, I was struggling my tail off, okay? Losing half my hair through the process. And then to now where it's like, I love this job and wouldn't want to leave. Something I like to do in my free time is climbing. I'm few short of getting half of the 14ers done, so I've only got 23. But this has been something as I grow, as a climber, both through a teacher, both things, the whole theme of this whole piece is teaching, climbing our journeys through reflection. And I know we say reflect, oh, practice reflection, wow, this, but I really want to talk about meanings and how to make it to really develop and grow to be the teacher that you all want to be, or still can be, because I still can get better. Okay? There's things I do well, but every year you have these layers. And every year you get better until you're finally killing it and literally doing things that I thought I would never be able to. I honestly got, when I first started climbing 14ers, and I'm going to tell you the first story, I had no business even out here. Okay? It was pathetic. And now here I was at Castle 5 years later, did it completely solo, rope solo, and doing things that I thought I never could. When I was the first time as a teacher, of course I tried to do collaborative groups. Didn't work out too well the first year, okay? And I was very structured. But after 5 years, I've been able to move into these formats, move these things with much more student-centered than I. And so it's kind of a story to that. Okay? But the point being, every failure you have is a growth in your career. As long as you stop to reflect and think how you can get better, okay? Just like some of my stupid stories when we were hiking, I made some pretty dumb mistakes, okay? I didn't go make the same mistake again. I did something different, or add something to my equipment, or added something to my arsenal to make myself a better climber. Just like every year, I do something to become a better teacher. It's key. I'm going to go back each year so you can see how I evolve, change, everything, every single time, okay? But it really is just this. And if you're doing this weekly, daily, Glunz, no kidding, okay? You plan it, I teach, I reflect, and I develop, no kidding. I just want you to see how I do it, because it's a little bit, when I tell my story to other newer teachers, young teachers, I was like, Chris, this makes so much more sense. And I'll admit, honestly, I'm always in 206. If you need a little pickup or something, just trust me. Teachers help me, and I'll tell you there. I can be help you at any point too. Now, the key to remember is always start with the plan. Okay, you can never plan enough. All right, I like that Eisenhower quote where it goes, "Preparing for battle." I've always found that plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. Okay, because half the time my first year teaching, I was planned. You'll hear when I bring it up. I had my teacher work sample done. I thought I had my 3 weeks of planning done. This is a big piece of cake. Day one, how many weeks of planning did I have? 0, because I had to restructure everything, okay? But the first thing is planning, but I want you to notice I plan differently every single year. As I grow as a teacher, I add elements to this, I plan differently to it, and you can ask anyone like Dr. Glunz, you overplan so much, but when I'm teaching, my weeks are stories, okay? Because my planning is that intentional, and it's so overplanning everything else, you will see, okay? But planning is the key. Then the teaching is your time to be the experimenter, okay? And I'll tell you right now, your first, your second year, your third year, try out as many things as you can. Or a monthly thing. What are you doing new? What are you experimenting? Because as you experiment, you will find what works for you and what doesn't work for you, okay? And what works for you, will just do more, develop, and just continually get better at, okay? Now the key thing that I just kind of do my whole life is the reflection piece. Now, as your first year, reflection almost could be like, hurt your mental health, okay? I would go home, and because the day happens, all right? And then you go by, and you finally get done, and you're all of a sudden like, holy crap, that happened today. Holy crap, that happened today. Oh my God, that also happened today. And it all just hits you, and it's like, how many are you going to show my face? Tomorrow, after this, all just happened, okay? And so my first year was almost like, too much. I go home, tell Ellie, I'll just crash, make it, don't worry, pick me up. But it was that reflection piece, okay? Now, my thing was just key, is as you reflect, you develop tools. Okay, and I'll admit your first year, there was things management-wise kids did to me that I couldn't even fathom. right? First time getting flicked off. First time getting called the N-word. First time being told to F off. The first time I'm just like, I'll never forget this one girl. She was the first time I got flicked off. It was my second week. We get a little thumbs up. I'm like, hey, Savannah, doing good? Yeah, Mr. Glunz, doing good. I turn away and it's just, Savannah, what was that for? Well, F you. What did I do to you? And I was just like shocked. Now, was that probably the appropriate way to handle it? Oh, hell no, I'm asking like this nice guy, like, oh, what did I do to you? Blah, blah. But I was learning and reflecting how am I going to handle this next year. Because honestly, your first year is really reflecting upon your management. And I would say your first year, you mess up, so the next year, I tell all our new teachers, it's like building your arsenal. Next time the kids say, F you, I'm ready to, okay? It's like, I knew what to do. But that first year, you don't know. You honest to God don't know. Because kids will do things, how is this even possible? You were doing a somersault in the classroom, doing a cartwheel. This is my freshman, early on. I'm just like, it blows your mind. You develop your arsenal for management through reflection. What can I do to make sure that doesn't happen again? Because so-and-so is going to come in tomorrow, what are they going to do? Same thing. What am I going to do to stop that? What tool am I going to bring so that it doesn't happen again? Okay? And then the key is you develop, and I would recommend, ladies and gentlemen, get as close as your department as you can, or you can get as close as me as you can, okay? So if I didn't have the department that I did, I wouldn't have made it. I would have just quit. I would have been done. They helped me, okay? Because I'll be honest, teachers goes, Chris, you're doing great. They taught things. I was like, I don't know if anyone's learning anything. Okay, I'll be honest, I'm just surviving. But at the end, they go, no, Chris, you keep getting better. I remember my mom would always say this. My mom was a teacher for 41 years. And same with my mentor. He goes, Chris, it takes about 5 years to really know what you're doing. I got to do tomorrow. Then I need to know what the hell I'm doing, okay? I don't have 5 years to wait. The key is every year you just get better. Next year, you're all going to walk into the classroom, okay? Or your third year, whatever, and you're going to know what to do for management. You 100% will know. Why? Because you reflected and developed, okay? As you'll see as I grow, how that changes as we continue, okay? Now I'm just going to tell you some goofy stories here. So this is me year one, okay, fresh out of college, okay? And so my first little head, as you see where I get my master's degree, I am super wide-eyed happy, the world is my oyster, okay? I could not be any more happy. I'm ready, I'm going to change the world. I got my golden sunglasses ready to change life and be the change that I want to be and see in the world, okay? Now, I like showing with this, and I can kind of ask for those that hike and those don't. What is kind of wrong with some of these pictures? I'm just curious. When you look at, or you just haven't seen anything wrong. Kind of hiking, I'm just curious what you say. If not, I'm just, usually when I teach, I always ask questions. But at the same time, I know we're super new with you guys, and I might be a little nervous.
I love that cotton shirt.
The cotton shirt, which is not a good idea if you're actually hiking, because that will just sweat and everything. Not to mention, it's the stupidest shirt. I don't even know why this shirt ever existed. I think it was thrown out after this. The senior frogs, like drinking team shirt. I thought that was so cool to go on a hike with. Oh yeah, that's what mattered. That I had a senior frog shirt on while I hiked. Okay, not to mention, elk isn't going to do anything to you, okay? But is this a nice thing to do to an animal? No! And I was like, guys, how cool. The elk's right here. Let's get a picture. All right? And I thought that was the prayer, okay? I knew what I was doing, but did I really know what I was doing? Nothing, okay? But I went blindly into it. I had a journey. Same thing here. This is my second 14-year plongery. And what I loved, same thing, cotton shirt, everything. We got the one from Jack with his little Jack Russell dog. But if you look, like I have a little camel, I have a little camelback. My first 14-year, I'll tell you this. I didn't really know what a 14-year was or how hard it would be. My friends were just going, Chris, we're going to climb this mountain, Mount Huron. You know you want to go camping? Sure. You have 1 hour to get ready. And I just like threw everything in my bag, threw my shoes in there, and literally I didn't have a backpack. I had this thing from when I went to camp in like 10 years old that was this little canteen. Okay, I thought it was really cool, but I thought all you needed was just, we're going for a hike. We're going to walk. How hard could this be? Okay? And like, we're just going to do it, and we'll go in here, this will be no problem. We drive to Camp Vista. First time we went up there, and we were going to the little Daisy liquor store. I was like, this is the coolest town of all time. Loved it. And I remember going there, and we're going through, in the back, our car is packed. It's 5 other people, okay? My bag is the largest. Glunz, I've never even done a 14er before. How do you have the largest bag? You guys gave me an hour to pack. That's my second question. How is this bag so big if you only had an hour to pack? I just threw everything in here. And my one friend Brendan goes, Chris, what do you have in here? And he pulls out, did you bring 6 pairs of socks? Yeah! Because I just brought a whole new bag of socks. And it's like, I figured maybe someone else would need a pair of socks. So I just put all those socks in there, and we got in there. That was the running joke. Oh, Glunz, are you going to use 6 socks as your pillow? Are you using 6 socks for every 10 miles or 1 mile that you hike? Are you using 6 socks for this? It's like, guys, I got my foot wet once. That was my one little experience with hiking. I got a blister because I had a wet sock, so I bought clean socks. Did I know at all what the hell I was doing? No. I thought I did, but I had no clue. Okay? The key is, after my friends made fun of me so much, do you think I ever bought 6 pairs of socks ever again? No. The best part, it rained and hailed. Do you think I even had a raincoat? No. And I'll never forget, I hiked in sweatpants like a moron, okay? Sweatpants and t-shirt. I remember being above tree line like, guys, my foot's kind of numb. And then I get, yeah, I should probably wear 3 pairs of socks. And it's like, no, I think like something might be like wrong with me. But this is like ridiculous. I remember my friend and I had like a morning beer before we did this. Like, oh, this is going to be fun. And within 10 minutes, my friend Andy and I are just like, what did we get into? Okay, this is going to be hours of hell, all right? And once we got up there, I'll never forget this one moment. I'm hiking up, and I'm struggling. Of course, I'm last. Okay, everyone's out there. Everyone's celebrating the time, and I'm just shrugging up this thing. And then eventually, I'm almost up there, and I see this guy. Hey, man, love to get up. Get up. I didn't know what the hell it was. I'm from Chicago. I'm arranging Colorado stuff, right? I love to get up. What? I love just the canteen. What do you mean? It's like, it's pretty baller or pretty, I don't know what I said, righteous or something. It's like, it's pretty rad that you're hiking the 14 with just a canteen. And I'm going, yeah, man, of course. And I'm going, yeah, it's because I'm just a dumb. You know what? But all I have is literally no backpack, no raincoat, just this little canteen that I'm trying to climb. Mount Huron's an easier hike, okay, but I'm a moron to do this, okay? And so originally I was like, I thought I was prepared. Not at all. I made the mistake. I wanted to do more, okay? But I grew and changed, okay? My first year teaching, guys, I always like to show this photo. Now, Mr. Sandoval's in this room. Nowadays, when I walked into my classroom, this is what all I had. I had about 10 desks. I had dragged all those desks from the freaking tennis court into my room. I thought everything would be all set up like, oh, we're getting together. And I remember we did the little FIC at Legends. And I'm going, Corrado, who's a former teacher here, is a big mentor to me as well. Used to be our IB coordinator. Goes, Glunz, we're all set up for this week. And I was like, yeah, but Corrado, I don't even have desks. What's going to happen on Monday? Not to mention my first week of teaching was hell on earth, okay? I couldn't tell you any story you want on that, all right? I nearly died, all right? Oh, well, Glunz, I'll tell you this. If you got to get something done, you got to do it yourself. So Saturday morning, I showed up, moved those desks, okay? You can see, I put this because you can see the structure. But I'm still trying to do group work when, as a teacher, am I ready for that? No, I'm really not. If you're, honestly, I would argue, in my view, this is my opinion, okay? Because other teachers, like Mr. Wiggins, who I bring up, he started collaboration. I could never do that. My first year, I thought I'd collaborate, and then what I go right into? Lecture. Okay, it's the easiest. Even though you might lose some kids, you get it's the easiest way just to do it, okay? And I would move right into it. It took me years to be, I remember when Med was my evaluator 3 years ago. The goal for year 3, Chris? More collaborative environment. And that was that development, okay? See I was trying, I was also big enough moron to try to coach freshman football. Okay, so this is me from the cherry picker, okay? So every day I'd get my tail kicked. I'd be 30 minutes late to class and I'd make 5 to 10 phone calls home every single day about, I can't believe this happened in my classroom again. To the point where parents are finally like, this is like a weekly thing. It sounds like you're the problem, not my child is the problem. And then that's a whole nother reflection, okay? But if you look, trying to coach football, and then I'll never forget this. If you look, this is a broken collarbone. I made it all the way to April, because I honestly didn't think I was going to make it to April. But it was November. I was like, there's no way I'm getting through this. I'm going to make it to the end of this paycheck, okay? And then I wasted all this money on the masters, all this money on this, because I can't do this. Now, by the time in April, I started to kill. Honestly, I came back in January as like hardcore. I was like, this is it. Now, I'll never forget this one student who was real tough. went to Range, got expelled from Range, suspended from Range in less than a week, came back to my classroom, and he comes in strutting his stuff, okay? And never forget this other girl in the back of the classroom, Devontae, you better sit down right away. Wow, we're Glunz's. And then Swanee girls, Glunz is straight flexing now. You better sit down. And I was just like, yeah, and that was, keep growing. I'll never forget that. And I remember, Devontae, straight flex. Like as a joke, okay? Now I'm starting to get it. Okay, I'm starting to go. And by April, I thought I had it. The kids were on my side, okay, I was getting it. I was finally getting there, okay. Spring break, first day back, okay. Trust me, it took me 15 minutes to get a smile on my kids' face this morning, all right? When they were coming in, okay? Now, it's April 11th. I remember this because we're up with Mr. Bonnywell. I remember he's been a teacher for 10 years plus. And he goes, all right, young buck, you're on that home stretch. How do you feel? Terry, I feel great. Because I'm a month away from freedom, sanity, not losing my hair every day, and finally getting a life again. And he's like, well, Chris, the cool thing is you got it your second year. We saw you start to evolve, change, get better, and you know what? You're going to enjoy today. First run, through the trees, pop out of the trees, bam, someone hits me, broken collarbone. My last month of teaching, hi class, how are you doing today? Okay, and I literally had one arm, okay? I know we're tied. Ask God, Ellie, you help me tie my shoes those mornings, okay? Because I literally couldn't even tie my shoe. I didn't miss a single freaking day of work. There every single day, I'm there for my kids. Guys, I'm here, you can be here. And this is when I'll admit, I could see my relationships helped, because in the beginning, you'll see like my reflection pieces. I thought my relationship was going to be my management. How stupid. Okay? Oh, the kids will like me, so they'll do what I want them to do. Moron. Okay? Now, that's somewhat true when you get good at it, but that takes years to get good at it. Okay? And so, like, my whole thing when I was getting within it there was when I finally had the broken collarbone, some kids would still like trying to be a little more of a punk or whatever, and they'd be, guys, one doesn't even have a right arm. Shut up. And that's when it was like, okay. Because I'll admit sometimes, like, some of these kids just don't care. I care about them, but they don't care about me, but honest God, they really do. They don't want to show it because is caring about a teacher cool? No. Okay, but they do. I'm telling you right now, they 100% do. So my first year, clearly a teacher work sample, but I was ready to go. Wrong. Okay? I taught. I wanted to teach just like my mentor. I try to teach like everyone else. That's the stupidest thing you could do. Just be you. And I know that sounds weird, but it's going to take time where I say my classroom is my dojo. It's me to be me, and I tell my kids, you don't just get me, you get the Mr. Glunz experience. Okay? I act as weird as I possibly can. I fall down like I do the stupidest things just to have fun with kids. Okay? Originally, I thought I'd be this intense guy, just like Peter Meldach, because I love this teacher, I looked up to him. I tried to be like my best teachers. I could never replicate what anyone else could do. And until I finally just started to experiment my second year, experiment my third year, that's where I grew. That's where I evolved. God, you're such a passionate teacher. I want to be just like you. Chris, stop it. Be you. Okay? It was Mr. Wiggins that helped me the most with this. Now, my reflections were daily and almost lost my mental insanity. Okay? Because every day I was worrying about it. But this is the key. I was really lucky to have a really supportive social studies team. I mean, the key is also this. But like friends, anyone, like I looked at these people as like new tools that I was developing for my backpack. Like I didn't bring 6 socks anymore, I brought 2, okay? And then it really did, right? I'll be honest, out of all the teachers, Colin Oates, oh my God, he was my mentor as a first-year teacher here. That dude was my camelback. That dude is the most essential tool I had. When I was really, really struggling, you can ask him. He didn't think I was going to make it through the first year. When I started, he was like, Glunz, I'm so excited about you, and then the year started, I was like, oh no! And he even invited me over for dinner one night to try to help me plan a lesson. Okay, he did everything. And he probably watched me cry 20 freaking times that first year, okay? He would observe, take notes, read these notes, and I was like, this was said in my classroom? Crying to the outside. And then, literally, after I say those notes, because when it hurts, and I'm tired, I look at that freaking note and say, I'm not going to let myself get there again. I want this more enough that I'm going to step it up. I'm going to get there. So Colin's there. I'll be honest, Terry Bonnywell and Jill Cullis, huge in my management my first year. Okay? But I'll be honest, my second year, my management way too much. And I'll get into that in a second. I went over the top. All right? No one would speak in my room because my manager was so too much. I'll tell you that in a second. The person who provided me the most direction in my apartment is Colleen Dodger, who spoke before. She's my map, my GPS, my YouTube. Okay? My hiking shoes and the person that helped me go the most, Mr. Whitmer. Oh my God. Every time, Marty, I don't know about this next unit. I'm freaking out. I think back, Chris, you're freaking out a geography unit. Like, all the preps we have now and everything else. Back then, I would freak about one little prep and I'd just laugh about it now. Oh no, Marty. And I'll never forget that one time I walk in, because kids were making fun. I couldn't pronounce these two certain volcanoes in Russia at first. And literally, I walked into Colleen's room and was like, guys, how do you say this, blah, blah? And I remember Colleen going, Chris, I hope that's not your biggest worry right now about how to plan these things, but like they would help me, keep me going. And corner Mr. Wiggins, I hike with my sunglasses all the time. But he was the first person where I cried my bloody eyes out on Friday. Again, in February one time, it was, Chris, just do you. Be yourself. How do you run a lesson? This, that, and help me get through it. He helped me find some stuff. Okay? Now, the second year started to happen. How's the classroom look? You don't have to say it's nice, but like if you walk in there as a student, what's the first thing you're going to think? Structure. Okay, I wore my full suit. Okay, my blue blazer, whatever, my navy coat, or whatever everyone wants to call it. I walked in there, and everyone was like, oh my God, when I saw this guy. And I'm not for lack of better words, I was a monster dick my first 2 weeks. Okay, I had to learn that was not the right style, okay? But I walked in here and I'll never forget, Gabe Hernandez, who's a senior now, because this is 3+ years ago, he goes, Glunz, when we first had you, do you know what your nickname was? What? The vampire teacher. It was literally every day it was like you're patrolling, just like sickened for blood. And then it was like 3 weeks around, I was like, guys, how come we're not talking? Let's talk. And we're like, because they're scared to death to talk. I was like scared to death. Because was I going to have another first year like I did? Guys, you won't. I guarantee you. It never gets easy. It only gets easier. Okay? And if you look super structured, got to finally meet this guy Cordova and Mr. Hagerman up at Keystone. I got to learn a little bit about IB. I got to go on field trips to Ludlow Massacre. I got to finally do some more cool things. Okay? Develop and grow. But at first, way too strict. Way too strict, okay? And my third year, I still learned this. Guys, I gotta be that super, hate the first month. Chris, maybe you don't need to be such a jerk the first month. Well, if I'm not a jerk the first month, because my whole thing is, Glunz, you're a pretty laid back guy. They know there's this whole thing is, Jordan Trio said last year, the second your nostrils flare, Mr. Glunz, if I don't start apologizing, I know the storm is going to come down, right? Just get this and then I don't even have to speak, okay? Now that took years to develop that reputation, and you will too, okay? Now the thing that was my big growth my second and third year is I finally did something my own, okay? There's a few art activities, but I finally developed assignments that were purely my own, not just taking stuff from my colleagues, and the kids killed it. And I'll be honest, if you walk in my room 206, I hate the white walls, of course we have no windows. It is color palooza in there, okay? I like the colors. Because let's be honest, when the kids get bored in class, what do they start doing? Looking around. I'd rather be looking and learning about something than not, okay? And I really like my kids read and write and work so much every single day. It's, maybe that's just what they do. My hand and everything. And art day, okay, for example, like this one, about the Vietnam War. We listen to some anti-war music, Rolling Stones, Sympathy for the Devil, and look at the level of cognitive thought of this, all right? The cool thing about this one, all right, I see something, look, about war as hell, the average age being 19, okay? This is the MLK assassination, use of tanks. Here you have Kent State, here you have the Nixon piece, here you're dropping the atomic bomb, and then here you have Kennedy assassination. All those historical events within one big piece. And the cool thing is, if you look, there's one thing that's the same about all of them. You can put a man in black as the devil or the person who's working behind it. Now, when I saw that as a teacher, how do you think, what happened to my motivation? Bang! I can do this. Do you know how proud I was to put this in my classroom, put this up? And I would never get this in my first year, I would never get this. All you see here is regular classes. This is no honors classes or anything, okay? Second year teaching geography, Regular class, the summative assignment at the end, the mobilization project, and my first year it was, oh, I hope I get a stick figure this time, okay? Second year, blew it away. And that motivated me. And then the stupidest thing, I'm telling you right now, I thought this was the cheesiest thing at school. Hang up students' work. And that will help motivate students. Yeah, right. Now one kid, Mr. Glunz, I worked so hard on this. You think you could hang it up on the wall? Really? Yeah, that'd be so nice. You got that little board over there. Instead of like announcements for the school, it'd be great if my artwork was there. Yeah, I would want mine. Yeah, I would want mine. And I kid you not, this was just an experiment. I put it all up on the wall, and the kids walk in. Mine's not up there? John, whoever, do you want me to show yours in comparison to this? Oh my God! And then the next time you do the assignment, 10,000 times better. And then every year, I would take last year's examples and say, hey guys, I think you're better than last year's class. Prove it. Can you do better than last year's? And every year, my artwork, my summatives get better, grow and evolve. Okay? And then, by my third year, I'm having a freaking blast. My climbing, so now this is different, really it gets better. Okay? Here I am climbing Mount Sneffels, and if you look, you couldn't quite see it. Telly ride's right back there. First time I'm doing like class 3 routes, I'm getting better. Okay? If you ever do Long's Peak, which I'd highly recommend, okay? At 1 year, I climbed 14 14ers in one summer. And my last one I did was Long's Peak. And I would argue that was the easiest 14er I did because I think I was in such good shape. But when I did this is the home stretch. It looks way worse than it really is. Okay, I just put up there like, oh, look how fancy it is. All right? But the point being, if you look at this last picture, this is on top of La Plata. Anyone that does any kind of climbing or anything with hiking, what do you know is maybe in like the sky or anything that probably isn't good about that last summit picture? I'm not only about to rain, I'm about to get electrocuted by like a lightning storm. Because I had plenty of times where I'm up there, oh, the clouds are no big deal. I thought I could tell, oh, that's a thunderhead. That's this. Like I'm, as Ellie will say, Doppler Glunz over here, because I always say the stupid weather stuff, all right? He knows the weather. Because I'll admit, if I grew up in Colorado, I would have become a meteorologist. Because with snow, everything, I watch it religiously. But here I am up here, and it wasn't until one time I'm hiking that literally the rocks were sticking to my shoes. And you could literally feel electricity in the air. Where I was like, guys, the mountain's never going to go anywhere. There is no need for us to do, I don't care if it took us 3 hours to get up to this point. I will go somewhere, okay? And so I rather turn around, and that was me learning, growing. I made a mistake, but I didn't repeat that mistake, okay? For everyone's safety and sanity over here, all right? Now you look how I changed. My different thing, and this is something I would really recommend, okay? I created a Google Doc with every single day. And every day I did the lesson, I put it in there because next year, I just had it. Didn't mean it was planned. I knew what I did and how I did it, okay? And I'll admit it was, we used to have to share Google Chromebook carts. So I took the stupid Chromebook cart checkout and just put my lessons in there. What did I do this day? What did I do that day? And this is when I thought, at first, once I got it all done next year, all I got to do is just open it up and follow the same week. Kind of right, but kind of wrong at the same time. The key is this will make your next year infinitely better, okay? Because I am so disorganized. You can look at my computer. You could try to find an assignment in there, and I guarantee you won't be able to, okay? It's all everywhere, all right? My teaching my second year is I was super strong in the management, remember? But I finally lessened up. And my second year was when Avid entered into my life. Now I'll admit, you'll see, as you're early in your career, administrators, no matter where you are going to throw you all these different things. I mean, this year it's the interim assessment or whatever, I honestly don't even know, okay? But when Avid entered my life, the key is pick what works for you. You'll see other teachers, oh, how we're doing another new, oh, all this. I literally, hey, I pick what works for me. I'm going to do what my administrator asks, but I'm going to find something that finally works for me. Avid was it. It was Marty helped me again. He went to the training, and Avid helped my classroom become less teacher-centered to more student-centered. Was it truly where I wanted to be yet? Not quite, but I got there and grew, okay? The big thing was this, and this, I want to keep doing this, but I never have time to do it. I have a Google Doc. When lessons really sucked, I instantly wrote down this sucked, this sucked, this sucked, because a week from now, you literally will forget how it sucked. Okay? A year from then, you will 100% forget what you sucked. And you will literally have days where you'll hand out an assignment. Oh, Mr. Glunz, there's a typo right here. Yeah, I remember when that happened last year. And I didn't do the reflect. You know what I mean? You need to document it, put it down. The more you put it there, the better. And honestly, when I did this, this is for like my mental health. Because I'd go home and just vent to Allie for hours. And then finally I was just like, let's have a normal life too, okay? And I would write, reflect, and then help me, okay? And the last thing is, my second and third year, I was adding Avid. Okay, I was adding management. I was adding another layer. Okay, my first year was all about just figuring out how to do this. Second and third years when I was finally adding those pieces to it. Avid is really when I supported this. Okay, and the creativity was a whole nother layer. More projects, more of this. I was adding what was working, not just in my other classrooms, it was what's working for me. And other teachers, Chris, how do you get this to work? It's what works for me. Don't try what works for me. Do what works for you. Well, Chris, when I do these art things, I can't get that level of creativity. Yeah, because this is my style. Do your style a little bit there, okay? So those are some of those tools for that one. And then finally at the end, last year and this year, I'll admit, this year there's been some rocky points, okay? But the last couple of years, teaching has just gone to another level. Like my classroom, I have a whiteboard. It's my fake window. There's been over 50 versions of my window this year that the kids just constantly redraw. It's half the time just an artboard. Okay, I let students kind of take a little bit. I would never, my first 3 years, let a student draw on the board. That I just couldn't release that. Okay, it's like I'm learning where I need to be hard and when I wouldn't. Okay, you can see my little wall, everything here. My colleagues going to student youth and government. Okay. Got to go to San Diego last year because we'll be developing our project-based learning academy next year, and that was from the high-tech high. You can Dr. Davis, Mr. Med. And then I started coaching again because after my first year, do you think I kept coaching? Hell no, because I nearly died during it, all right? And so I started to coach, and I was doing wrestling at A Hills. I'm my first city champion, and that was a cool little thing. I was doing things like, guys, going to the Capitol and taking students to do mock government. When I entered in teaching, I didn't think that was anything in my realm. Okay, going to other schools to bring it into a school here, never thought that having city champions, having a room just, I'll show you this, littered with notes from students, I thought that was never gonna happen. My fourth year is finally when I was being asked to do things that I thought I would never be able to do. And then I actually did them. And then even better is my fourth and fifth year as I continued, my students did things that I never thought possible. Okay, now here's that classroom my fifth year, something called Structured Academic Conversations. This took days to prep. We're debating why did England really leave the European Union due to xenophobia, or was this really all about having more sovereignty or governing their country? And after days getting through the documents, put them into groups of 4, realized normally I love to do just a standing debate. You have to notice my average class size is about 40. I have 3 classes over 40 this year. And so I had to think of a new way to do a debate. And so I have these little groups of 4 debate. And you would walk in there, and it literally is some of the best conversation you would possibly heard. 4 years ago, I would never been able to do this. This is a whole nother layer. You walk in, oh, I believe they really did. It was for xenophobia, because look at this. They discriminated against this. Oh, no, it was about sovereignty, because if they don't have that, that'll decrease this price. And it was just literally this day, the whole day, I just kept going to my other department. Guys, come in here for 1 second. Guys, come in here for 1 second. Guys, come in here for 1 second. Wow. And I didn't have to do anything. I mean, I had to spend hours to prep to make this work. It was hours, not days. But the day of, completely student-centered. Okay? You can see here all my artwork. You can see how that classroom looks. The 80 kid, we have the largest delegation at Colorado. Gateway brings, we have to cap it at 60. We actually had to take applications for kids to go to student youth and government this year to limit it. We have some of the most politically evolved students. And guys, this is a quick story. If you don't know this girl, you need to. Her name's Estrella Soto. Okay, I've had her for 3 years at Gateway. End of last year, it's my last day, 4th year. I'm having a great year, okay? And I'll admit, my last day, I didn't have a 7th period, so I had no final. I thought I was just gonna roll in, clean up, okay? I think that night we went out a little bit, had a couple drinks and everything, and then I thought all I had to do was just roll in and clean up my classroom, no big deal. I walk into my classroom, and it's Estrella and her friend Valerie crying their bloody eyes out in front of my door. And I'm like, uh-oh. And trust me, There's a reason I go through about 10 to 20 tissue boxes a year, okay? Nowadays, I don't get the tears as much, but I always tell kids, I never had a person that even said hi or cared about me. If you don't learn anything from me, I just want to be someone that is there for you. And anytime you need someone, lunch or anything, come in. But that's when I get like no planning time, no nothing, because I'm constantly helping. But that's the good thing about teaching too, okay? Now this girl comes up. Hey, what's going on? Now I had to write a letter to some immigration thing because her mom was up for deportation. Dad was up for deportation, okay? And this last day, it's the last day of school, okay? Walks up to me, crying her eyes out. Mr. Glunz, my mom and dad are gone. Straight, what happened? Well, her dad, and that she was blaming herself. Sorry to be emotional for this a second. Blames herself, saying, "Oh, my dad texted me yesterday. His dad apparently drinks this. That's why my parents are separated. And he needed money and help, but I just didn't even respond." And my mom responded, and they met at a Starbucks that morning, and the IC agents were right there waiting for them both. And then the beautiful thing about this, so hardest day of my life. What do you tell a kid? I won't even see them next week. And the kid that's 29, kid that's younger than me, is going to be taking care of this girl in a home that he never was ready for, okay? And so I had to leave this building with this fear of what's going to happen to this girl that I've had for 2 years, now my 3rd year. Now what's so beautiful about this moment? Here's her at Youth and Government speaking about a bill to ban all privately funded ICE detention centers. Because if you didn't know, most of our detention centers are through privately funded companies. And her parents were at the detention center that's a multinational corporation that's motivated by profit, was the ones that took her parents. And here she is, less than a year later, able to speak in front of hundreds of students, say, including my parents, myself, that I should do this. And I'm going, wow, I'm doing things as a person I thought I never could do. And then my students are doing things that I thought they never could do, okay? And that's what this job is the best. It has its hard day. Same thing with climbing. You start climbing, it freaking sucks. The first hour, it sucks. And this summer, I'll be honest with you, I had a couple colleagues I want to climb with, but then when it pushed come to shove, like Castle Peak, this year, I climbed 1 peak with my group. I did 3 solo. And this was a whole nother thing, me going out of my comfort zone. Because I'll be honest, when I'm in my job, I'm super extroverted. When I go home, I am super introverted. I kind of like to chill, not talk. I like the alone time. So my friend Marty, I was really going to try to get him to climb Castle Peak with me. He lives in an area, if you know Leadville, it's a town called Granite. Leadville and Buena Vista, they have an old little cabin in this town. It's like 10 people. Okay, is it up top? Marty, you're coming with me tomorrow to climb Castle. And thank God I did it last year because this is where that avalanche happened, so I would never be climbing this year because I've been waiting to do this peak for like 3 years. I want to get a peek in the Alps done, Marty. Let's go. Chris, I got the new dog. The dog's not going to be able to climb. Marty, that's such a wimpy excuse. You're climbing this with me. And his wife's there. I'm Chris. Don't get Mario to do things he doesn't want to do. All this. And it's like, so you guys are going to make me go by myself. You could have us climb this or whatever. No. I am determined. I want to climb this thing. I drove the 2 hours from his house to the trailhead, okay? Climbed the worst thing is, as I'm driving, I still make the amateur mistake where I try to go over this one rock and I, boom, hit the bottom of my car right away. Now I'm by myself, so my mind starts, I pull over, there's stuff pouring out, I'm like, I just broke my car. I really just went through a puddle and it's the water coming out. But at the time, at 6 in the morning, okay, you're not like processing that. I literally was going underneath the car like this and like, tasting the water to see if it was bad or not. And I was like, Chris, you spent all these hours doing it, are you just going to turn around? No, just go, and this lady will drive you out if you can. I told Allie, if you don't hear from me by 6 o'clock, call the Forest Service, okay, and just let me do it, all right? Now, I got up this thing all by myself, okay, and this was a beautiful freaking peak, okay? And the key is my favorite moment of this whole thing is when I'm just around this corner, one of my favorite flowers called Sky Pilots, okay? This is at like 14.2 that these things were actually growing as I looked up. And as bent on and smelled those flowers and just reflected in, said to myself, this moment is a beautiful moment. And cried my bloody eyes out because it was just beautiful, okay? Same things when I climbed Sunshine. Sunshine Peak's a good 6.5 hour drive. This was for 2 days. I'll admit, when you guys were doing your induction training and everything, this is what I did my last thing. I drove 6.5 hours to Lake City, camped, all right, climbed this whole peak by myself. Wanted to do the second one, and I was like, well, it's going to be an 8-hour drive to get home. But these are things, if you told me when I first came to Colorado that I would do, I would say, no. Ask my fiance, still goes, I don't know why you did that, to be honest with you. But I had goals, and I grew. The key is I had the tools that I could do this by myself at this point. When it was my first year climbing, did I have the tools that I could do this by myself? No. But by this point, I was evolved, I grew, I changed, I reflected, and became something to the point where I could do these things just like you will, okay? So my 4th year, this is where I'm pretty much going to end with you guys, all right? Created weekly things beyond just my monthly plan, okay? I have an essential weekly question that goes up there, all right? Also, planning became more about pacing. I like to try to create like theatrics in my presentations. I usually like to turn the lights off, all these little things, but I add a whole nother layer to my teaching or my planning, okay? And of course, we had a block schedule, then a non-block schedule. Lord only knows what we have next year, okay? I had to readjust to it, okay? But the new thing the last 2 years, I want my students to lead it. I'm always going to be the general that takes them to the finish line, puts those pieces, but I truly want to be that constructivist teacher where I put the pieces up there and you are empowered to take your own teaching, okay? Push myself to be in that classroom, but created that collaborative setting that worked for not everyone, what worked for me. Because other teachers be like, Chris, you're still pretty strict on that. Yeah, because I'm not cool with just like fluff and all this. I am still a strict person, all right? But collaboration that works for me. I still do I don't have time to do it every day, but on Sunday, Saturday mornings when I wake up, I still do my weekly reflections. I still grow. I have my little Google Doc. I'm not going to lie. If you actually do this and you look back to 4 years from now, some of the things you said as the first person, it's some of the coolest things in the world, okay? Not to mention you can just laugh at how stressed out you used to be and how much you grow. And you literally can watch yourself evolve, okay? The last thing, though, this last 2 years, I finally became a DP teacher. And I was ready to teach this course where I knew kids that were going to be capable to pass the test, but if they didn't pass, it was going to be my fault. And the whole year I finally, by my 4th year, I was like, I'm pretty established at Gateway. I love the school. I got a little bit of a reputation. I'm doing a good job. But can I meet an international standard? You know, like let's see our test scores, everything. I'm going to work so hard on this, and then I'm going to get 2 kids to pass. And I remember my stepdad going, Chris, you're teaching up behind water. You don't even have a goddamn window in the class. Kids that take IB have 10 iPads, okay, all the resources in the world, everything, and you're going to try to compete against that. And I was like, Pat, yes. First year teaching, 80% pass rate. Okay, I was as stupid as I've never been so proud of passing where 30 plus kids, 100% passed the paper 1 exam. 100% passed an IB exam. I didn't even think that was possible. One kid I didn't even see for 2 months, okay? And he showed up for exams. He was there for the human rights unit and freaking passed it because the paper 1 was on human rights, thank God, okay? He got lucky, okay? But the point being, an exam that the year before didn't even have a 50% pass rate, I doubled it and did something. I thought, hey, maybe I can do the standard here, but would I ever be able to do standard international? Absolutely. And then we continue to grow. Now I have 40 plus students signed up for it. Both my GLOFO classes are at 40, 80 kids, okay? I almost did too good of a job of it. But it became one of my favorite things. Did I ever think my first year teaching I would ever be able to teach international course like that? Not at all. Are you kidding me? I thought I was going to be, I still don't even think I'm that good of a teacher. I just care, and I enjoy my job. And it really is that. And the last picture I'm going to end with, this is my proudest moment in teaching, because I don't really share this too much. There was a lot of my teaching program and everything else where people said, Chris, teaching's just not for you. You might want to do this. Your mother was a teacher for 41 years, but you're just not cut out for this. You're too relaxed, you're too this, you just can't do it. And one of my proudest moments here, still Australia, Valerie, and all of them, we're at the 42nd floor of the Sheraton Hotel at Student Youth Government, at the floor-to-ceiling windows, at a dinner that these kids have never experienced. They're walking, what is this? What is that? And you're watching these kids experience it. And I'm sitting there. I remember putting my hand, taking this picture. I got Mr. Whitmer, my rock behind me. And I go, Marty, this is my mecca right here. There's all these people that said I couldn't do it. Here I'm at the 42nd floor with these kids that wouldn't want to be anywhere else. They're choosing to be here, and I did. And so can you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, that's my little loser story. Okay, it's all right. Went a little longer than I wanted to. Okay, questions for me, comments, concerns, but I'm telling you, you can get there. I honestly said this would have never happened when I first started teaching. The key is, sorry, I'm going to lose a clicker. You plan, you teach, you reflect.